Montrer l'heure actuelle. C'est quelle heure? C'est... Ah ouais, non mais là c'est en... c'est 21h. Ah ouais, non mais là c'est en heure... anglophone de mes couilles. Heure... Et 6 minutes... PM. Attendez. Comment est-ce que je peux dire quelque chose? Vraiment régler l'heure des deux fois où vous avez lancé le jeu. Oui, je l'ai lancé une première fois. Parce que, pour faire le réglage, et là, voilà. Tant de gens ne prennent pas cette étape au sérieux, ils laissent l'heure régler sur eux, et basta. Et vous avez pris le temps d'indiquer l'heure, et je vous en suis reconnaissant. Et si vous vous souciez de votre expérience, votre attention est focalisée sur le jeu. Alors, je dis à quoi moi de vérifier si l'heure que vous avez entrée est correcte. Dire, nous allons passer un marché. Le mec, le jeu, il peut pas détecter que l'heure... Ah bah non, c'est vrai. Faites preuve de tellement de bonne volonté, la prochaine fois que vous lancerez le jeu, et cette recommande à choisir votre heure préférée. Choisissez l'heure que vous voulez, même si ce n'est pas la bonne heure. Bien mérité. De quoi s'excéder au jeu. Ah putain. C'est pour ça qu'il fait marrer, parce que voilà, c'est... Tu fais ce que tu veux. J'ai vu qu'il y avait un succès, qu'en fait, il demandait de relancer le jeu, mais je l'ai lancé une première fois, une deuxième fois, mais ça n'a pas fonctionné, donc c'est peut-être parce que j'ai pas... J'ai pas vu les paramètres de commande. Ah bah voilà. Z. Il y a marqué sauter. Voilà. QSD, au moins on peut faire ça. Allez, on commence le jeu.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what Employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Je crois qu'il y a un truc que si on bouge pas, le machin il s'énerve. Pas qu'il s'énerve, il te dit faut faire quelque chose. Bouger. Je crois qu'il faut juste attendre, mais je suis pas sûr. Je crois que j'avais fait un truc comme ça la précédente fois. Je pouvais pas revoir parce que malheureusement, je crois que je l'ai supprimé. Vous voyez, Donc là, vous ne pouvez pas sauter. Voilà, j'appuie sur la touche espace parce que il y a un succès qui s'appelle vous ne pouvez pas sauter. Et en fait, il n'y a pas de touche de saut en fait. Il marque qu'il y a une touche de saut et en fait, comment dire, le succès indique. Je crois qu'on a enlevé la fonction justement. Et donc, en fait, j'ai eu 2 succès parce qu'en fait, dès qu'on débloque un succès, il y a un succès qui se débloque pour dire ah bah, vous avez déjà eu un succès.
his co-workers were gone, what could it... Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click the door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Ouais, parce qu'il y a un succès pour si on... Il marque taper 5 fois sur la porte du machin. Et là, en fait, le truc, il a capté que je voulais le faire. Et c'est la porte 430, bah, en plus.
No, I'm still not feeling it. Achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Parce que c'est celle-là qui a indiqué. Voilà, ça me marrer. Ça me fait marrer. Genre de jeu un peu décalé. Allez. Il a lâché là. On l'a éteint, je sais pas pourquoi. On va tous les éteindre, hein, pourquoi peut-être si on les éteint tous, ça fait quelque chose. Mais le bruit que ça fait.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Droite, gauche, droite. Allez, gauche. Tableau de montagne. Tableau de mer.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Le réunion, il y a personne.
Disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Il est où le projecteur si... Ah, il est là. Ok.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Ouais, bizarre dans ce machin.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Non. Ok, d'abord il faut monter, après on pourra descendre. Pas de sous-titres. Non, s'il n'y a pas des sous-titres. les sous-titres, mais les sous-titres des... Les sous-titres pour ça. Tu lis un truc, tu mets un sous-titre. Ils y ont pas pensé, bien sûr. Ok.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Et là, il y a un truc... Faut qu'on puisse engouffrer ici. Bon, l'ascenseur. Ça, c'est les premiers trucs qu'on doit faire. Ils sont simples.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oui, là, je crois qu'il y a plusieurs chemins.
Straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
On va faire le truc de base.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ça, je crois que c'est tout DDD, donc je crois que c'est les nombreuses fins du jeu, je crois, ou... Je dis pas de bêtises.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Non, oui, non, c'est les employés.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ok, hop, on avance.
The proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ouais, il faut aller là-bas.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
Plutôt qu'ils s'arrêtent net. Hop.
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. He had to make a decision. What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
Ouais, c'est une des fins. Des fins, en fait, on s'enferme et puis c'est voilà, c'est fini.
All of his co-workers would, oh please, are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times, is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Allez, on va les faire.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and to tell him what to do,
C'est une des fins.
Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers would, oh please, are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times, is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No.
Ça doit être 5 fois, après chaque fin, fin, je pense.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
C'est qu'on peut pas monter sur les fauteuils. Oh.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the road.
Tu dis faut passer par là.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for me? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Donc là, ouais, là ça lit là-haut, mais là j'ai décidé de faire comme dans certains jeux où on peut sortir par n'importe quel endroit. Hop, passer par n'importe quel endroit. Donc c'est prévu par le jeu, bien sûr.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Je préfère la bleue.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you weren't supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ok, tourner par là.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
J'ai mis 3.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Le bruit de fou, bon, on va laisser y aller.
You heartless bastard.
Bah, j'ai appuyé plusieurs fois, rien passé.
Purely to spite me. Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Jeu de quelqu'un d'autre.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
C'est Firewatch.
It seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Ouais, c'est clairement Firewatch, ils ont refait le truc. Je crois que ça y était pas dans le premier. Ah, non. Firewatch à l'époque était pas sorti, je crois. Non, il existait pas. Il est sorti que peu après. Il était pas sorti, donc ouais, c'est ça doit être de la nouveauté de la version. Ouais, c'est.
No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Et sur un autre jeu. Rocket League, ouais, donc c'est tout le nouveau.
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. If you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Donc ouais, donc ça c'est la nouveauté la version de Ultra Deluxe.
There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh, je suis pas la voiture, je suis Stanley qui va super vite.
Hold on, what are you doing?
Je me suis jeté dans le... Oula.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How can you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
J'étais dans les tréfonds du jeu. Et on dirait Half-Life presque. On dirait des cours d'Half-Life. Ouais, non, ça a tout été rajouté sur la version Ultra Deluxe parce qu'à l'époque, Rocket League n'existait pas. Cette fin où ce passage n'existe pas. Ok, là, il y a un truc.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Voilà, là c'est une des fins. Ok, il y avait un truc qui lançait un truc qui s'affichait sur le machin, bon.
All of his co-workers would go, oh please, are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times, is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort.
Donc voilà, des fois il y a des portes qui s'ouvrent en cours parce que voilà. Et donc là on arrive sur un nouveau truc. Je sais pas si ça y était ça, ouais. Parce que des fois, après, ouais, d'un moment où...
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Oui, donc oui, c'était 2013. Yes.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022.
Ah, donc ça c'est rajouté ça.
Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable the world over. Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Bon, on va le découvrir.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Ah ouais, ça s'est rajouté.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Donc là j'ai l'impression que ça se moque des gens qui disent au début c'est un peu pénible alors qu'ils ont pas fait tout le jeu quoi.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Donc là la touche chaud existe maintenant. Il saute pas très haut. On dirait la corde de sauter dans Mario Odyssey. Rien à voir. On a épuisé nos sauts, je pense.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If
Bah oui.
new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no rush a cheap
Pourquoi qu'ils se moquent de tout?
no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Ok, donc une relance là, c'est juste pour dire oui, c'est un peu un truc qui se moque pour dire c'est la fin. Ah, c'est pas la même sortie là. Je sais pas si en appuyant plusieurs fois, ça fait pas quelque chose. Mais là, pour une fois, on cliquera pas sur la porte 430, qui apparemment, je crois 5 fois, donc 5 fois, c'est peut-être chaque fois qu'on revient d'une fin et qu'on a la sortie là. Je crois qu'il n'y avait pas un truc à faire là.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
On peut se... Ah, mais on peut se baisser aussi. D'accord. On va prendre le conduit. Tester un autre truc. De retourner dans les trucs. Et ça doit être la suite. Donc oui, apparemment on peut se pencher, j'ai oublié d'appuyer sur c'était...
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. Call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Passer sous les barrières. Bon bah on va aller là. Donc ça c'est ce qu'ils appellent la zone des souvenirs.
Doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Ça c'est pour... Mais en 2013, il y avait plus ce genre de boîte là. Là ça c'est le truc pour se moquer des boîtes, et ça c'est pour dire les récompenses qui sont eues en 2014 pour les Pendant Game Festival, qui se font plus maintenant, mais à une époque ça se faisait beaucoup. À cette époque, entre 2010 on va dire et 2015, je crois que ça... Il y a toujours eu ce truc, mais là ça se fait moins, parce que maintenant ils ont un peu lâché l'affaire. Donc là, ça c'est quoi? C'est le BAFTA? C'est quoi? Je sais plus ce que c'est. Plus que c'est ce truc. Donc ça c'est la zone des souvenirs. Quoi ça? Ah c'est la page de l'époque. Carte postale 2013. C'est quoi ça? C'est la première page en 2013 de Stanley Parable, quoi. La page... comment c'était Steam à l'époque, quoi. Ouais, c'était comme ça. Maintenant ça a une autre gueule, hein, bien sûr. Ah, ça doit être les magazines qui étaient sortis à l'époque. Et ça, c'est toutes les images du jeu. Voilà. Démonstration, ça doit être des images des jeux. Et ça, c'est un... Donc ça, c'était... ça, celui-là, je l'ai eu sur le précédent jeu, parce que là, en fait, dans le précédent jeu, vous deviez ne pas lancer le jeu pendant 5 ans. Voilà, 5 ans ou plus, hein. C'est pareil. 5 ans ou plus. J'ai réinstallé l'ancienne version, et je l'ai lancé et je l'ai eu. Mais dans celui-là, c'est 10 ans. Donc vous pouvez pas le lancer pendant 10 ans, donc pour l'avoir, généralement, je pense qu'il y en a qui jouent sur le fait que ils doivent avancer, je pense, l'horloge Windows, et puis dire, ah bah tiens. Est-ce que le truc va se baser sur l'heure? Sur l'heure, voilà. Ok. Donc il y a des faux machins. On peut pas parler par là.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was it was all of them. And now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Okay, donc ça c'est tout leurs nominations et leurs trucs réussis, ça c'est les articles. C'est quoi ça? Ah, c'est Destructoid. Alors, je suis jamais allé, mais c'est le robot et on peut le trouver justement. Il y a l'émoticône sur Twitch qu'on peut utiliser la tête du site de Destructoid. Donc un site de jeux vidéo, je pense un peu mieux. Ça c'est Minecraft. Minecraft c'est déjà sorti, ouais, c'est 2008. Minecraft fait partie des premiers jeux indépendants. Il y a un truc en bas là. Ok. Pas aller par en dessous. Zone de maintenant, ça aurait été rigolo. Donc ça c'est censé nous représenter, mais apparemment il y a un... Voilà. Dans l'ancienne version, il n'y avait pas de représentation de Stanley, machin, et là, il y en a enfin une, alors parce qu'on joue à la première personne, c'est censé être nous, Stanley. Et là, en fait, bah, il y a un personnage à proprement parler, donc plus ou moins représenté. Donc ça, c'est les faux paquets physiques de Stanley Parable. Pour ça, c'est le truc. Ok.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Ok, donc ça c'est pour dire en quoi ils sont faits. Et quoi il a fait, dans quel logiciel ils l'ont utilisé. Ouais. Donc ça c'était quoi comme site? Ah, j'ai pas... Je reconnais les lettres, mais ah, pas aller par là. Aller que par là.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Bon, ça c'est les locales.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Ok, c'est les containers des ouais, Steam. Toutes les évaluations Steam. On en fera une à la fin. Quand on aura terminé on aura peut-être terminé le jeu où on aura au moins toutes les fins. Voilà.
The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! Funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Ah, il y a des phases où ça fait très penser à Half-Life 2. Surtout quand on est en extérieur. Ça fait rigolo. Ce truc de coup de Steam.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. But dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remember.
Par contre, ça a l'air d'être des faux parce que apparemment, on voit que le logo ici en bas du pseudo des gens, c'est tous le même s'ils changent légèrement de couleur. C'est toujours le même. Ouais. C'est toujours le même. Alors si c'est des vrais pseudos, mais qui cachent juste les logos. Ou alors c'est du faux. Ce serait rigolo que ça soit du vrai. Hein? D'accord, on ressort par la même porte. Mais non, ça me fait penser à un endroit dans Half-Life. Là, c'est la Half-Life 2, c'est la zone de plage, pas de plage, mais non, en extérieur. Là.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm being too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Un bouton passé, voilà le bouton passé.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun.
On va l'écouter.
Something like this.
the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet.
Ah d'accord, il recommence. Il recommence.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made in fact make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Treatise.
Qui se répète.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review. Change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly Steam words.
Oui, on peut modifier l'évaluation.
The smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
C'est pas traduit? Tu dis rien? On repasse encore.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
C'est vrai, il a disparu.
I feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door, as long as it can open and lead from one room to another.
Bah, tu t'essayais contre le mur. On essaye, hein. C'est un peu con. Je sais que ça doit être con, mais...
I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Et là, je clique, on appuie. Non. On va voir ce qu'il fait. Ça répète ou si ça... Non, c'est un autre truc. Ah là, il repart. En fait, c'est peut-être un truc pour nous... Tiens, appuyer, c'est pour rigoler. On vous aime bien. Il nous force à appuyer sur le bouton.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie 9's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie 9. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head.
Ok, il repart, il redit.
You're back. Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into...
On le passe. Ça doit être le dernier. Ouais.
Hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was...
On va repasser encore. Il n'y a plus rien. Plus personne. Tout qui s'est pété la gueule. Voilà, c'est tellement long que...
But they
Là, on
didn't
peut...
understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to make a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic...
Ta gueule. Je pense qu'il faut le faire plusieurs fois. Au bout d'un moment, ça va nous lâcher.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end 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 is never the
C'est un peu le sous-nom du jeu. Ce n'est jamais la fin, ce n'est jamais la fin. Donc chaque fois il faut attendre que ça revienne. Donc là chaque fois on passe, mais est-ce que c'est des jours, des mois, des semaines qui passent? Il a l'air de dire que c'est des années et que ça se cumule, ça augmente. C'est pas que ça se cumule, c'est que ça augmente, voilà, ça augmente d'année en année. Là tout se détruit. Ça fait un peu penser à, comment ça s'appelle, à Portal là aussi. Portal avec les trucs qui sont tout pétés. Donc là c'est en train de tout se casser. C'est assez ancien. Ah, bah, là, la lumière du jour qui est là. Pour ressortir un moment ou un autre. Voilà, ça pousse. Donc chaque fois on doit attendre pour aller un peu contempler les trucs qui ont changé. Un peu bloqué. On clique. Ah. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? On va cliquer. Oula. Ah, le bouton est tombé. Ah, ça y est, on peut sortir. Ah. Y a plus rien. Mais on est dehors. Y a plus rien, mais on est dehors. Là, ça fait penser à Mad Max. Grande plaine, grande plaine vide. Je parle du jeu, hein, pas du film. Quoique le film aussi. Je sais pas où faut aller, mais... Ah, voilà. Ok, c'était une des fins. Une des nouvelles fins, je pense. Un peu. Pas un cap qu'on pouvait tirer ou quoi que ce soit, non?
All of his co-workers were gone. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement
Ça doit faire 4 fois.
I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that... Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Et ça a changé, là, il marque qu'il y a encore plus de nouveautés. Donc, on va les voir. Ouais, je pensais que ça allait partir sur le côté.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Ah putain, c'est drôle.
Isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Le jeu qui se moque de lui-même. C'est drôle.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Ah oui, ça se fait beaucoup là, les trucs où il y a les bars qui font 1 ou 2, voire 3, ou comme par exemple dans Resident Evil Village qui fait, vu que c'est le 7ème jeu, bah c'est voilà, le village ça fait 7.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
On passe par le truc là, c'est bon.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Voilà, ça c'est censé représenter notre personnage maintenant, dans le 2. Il n'est pas vraiment le 2.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the world is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Qu'est-ce qu'on va devoir en faire de ce saut? Je l'ai quelque part.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Ok. Passage pour aller là, il y a un autre truc pour aller là.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says Jim, but
Okay.
in the final game, this button will say your name. That is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. Finish setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally dying a slow death at an old age surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Je voulais voir si on pouvait faire autre chose, mais on est obligé d'appuyer dessus.
Jim.
Yes! See? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
Jim.
Otherwise, soon you'll
Jim.
start to lose
Jim.
all sense of who
Jim.
you actually
Jim.
are.
Jim.
Qu'est-ce qu'on y appuie toujours sur le bouton? Ok, on peut enfin sortir. Bon, enfin sortir de ce truc, la salle de gym.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
On va déjà l'épilogue. C'est gratuit, trop dans... Champion du monde. Achievement facile.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Ouais, ça bug, c'est ça? Est-ce qu'on peut faire demi-tour?
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Là, on va retourner. Non, je peux pas en faire plus. 2 sauts. S'en vont par mode champion du monde. Ça n'a pas l'air d'être possible. Chercher un autre truc.
Ah,
On est par là.
now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. You don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Voilà. 1 sur 6. Voilà.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
On avait fait ça? Non, je crois pas qu'on l'ait fait ça. Qui dit le nom du joueur qui joue, cercle pour sauter, trou sans fond. Collectivement, on va le faire, exit. On va s'en aller. Ah, attends, il y a plusieurs trucs. On va avancer là, c'est le truc sans fond.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
On y va?
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of those ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Great. Now,
Voilà.
I'm very excited to
Appuyez.
show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Je retourne. Je préviens pas.
And I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, sir. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole...
Pourquoi pas, pourquoi pas.
If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
J'y suis. On va partir et on va aller voir d'autres pièces. Des trucs plus haut là. Non mais on peut pas y aller. On l'a fait, y'a rien, sans la fait, y'a rien. Ça on l'a fait.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Ah, ok. Choisir ça ou choisir ça.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
Ok.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Où je vais là? Ça m'a ramené là. J'allais dans une vers d'autres trucs. Ce sont des machins. Reste quoi? Collectif là. Décoration. Ouais, les décorations, j'y suis pas allé.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Ok, donc on peut plus rien faire, donc... Mais non, c'est tout près. Presque sans fond. Pas y aller par là. Qu'est-ce que j'ai pas fait? Perdu, on peut pas se casser dans le jeu là, revenir en arrière, je pense que si. Faut le rentrer. Médo. Ça on l'a fait. Regarde, je sais pas. Ah, faut peut-être l'amener là-bas, ça. Peut-être ça, fallait peut-être l'amener là, ouais, c'est peut-être ça. Un endroit où je dois aller, mais je vois pas lequel. Là où est-ce qu'il faut aller? Épilogue, ok. Je pensais que ça ferait quelque chose, eh bien non. pour une fois, je suis paumé, je sais pas ce qu'il faut faire.
Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The
Mm.
problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Va falloir faire plusieurs fois, c'est ça?
I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow, okay.
C'est moi.
I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my... How is this still appealing to you? You're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
On est obligé de se téléporter parce que je peux pas sauter.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Puis qui se lance. S'effondrer. Trou. Il descend tel un ascenseur. F pour changer la perspective. Donc voilà, ça c'est nous. Donc enfin on a eu on a un personnage qui... J'ai pourtant je perds ceci. Je votre réalité. Qui vous... C'est un robot. On est à l'envers. On est façon poupée. Façon figurine. Façon dessin. Dessin plus cartoon. Dessin rapide. Un peu plus rapide. Ah, c'est sur les toutous.
Stanley! It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Ça redescend encore. Ah non, ok, c'est là, ça lance la fin. Ça va aller ici.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Décoration de bureau. Tout presque sans fond. Tout presque sans fond.
Come now. You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
D'accord. Là on y est allé, là on y est allé. On a fait... Je peux aller par là, moi. Y'a rien. C'est la sortie. Sortons d'ici. On a...
Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Ok.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Et donc voilà. Ok. Malheureusement, on va s'arrêter là. On va retourner au bureau.